Okay, so hopefully this model, this is not the first time you've seen this model, um, because I've gone through multiple videos to show you not only how to make this, but then how to label and parent it. And now I want to talk a little bit about modeling um, outside of object mode. So when we get an object, such as what I just brought in, a polygon object, and we start moving it and we rotate it and we might even scale it. We're moving it and rotating it and scaling it as an object. And that's what we've been doing when we created the robot. So I'm going to delete this little cube that I put there for a moment. So most of the things that we've done so far have just been in object mode. And we've been just using polygon primitives, which is wonderful. I'm going to go to shading here, and I'm going to go to wireframe on shade, simply because it allows me to see the wireframe, which here, that's the wireframe. I hit number 4 on the keyboard for that. But 5 is for shade. But now you can kind of see some of the lines of the robot. I'm going to also go to display and hide the grid, just so that it's a little bit easier to see this, okay? So you can see now um, sort of the grid of the mesh now. Like you can particularly see it on the spheres because they have more mesh on them than the cubes. But so far, we've been modeling in object mode. So I'm right clicking on my mouse right now. I'm on my 3-button mouse, and I'm holding the right side of the mouse and just clicking and holding it so you can see this. And so you can go ahead and do that too inside of Maya. Over an object would be best. And I can see that this is object mode. And it, in fact, is this the very mode that you've been using to model. Okay. And all the models that we've been working on, all the tutorials we've been working on in Maya for this robot has been in object mode because that's the default mode that Maya puts us in. But we actually can alter this model and update this model um, in other modes. Okay, so right now it's object mode. So anything that we do to an object like this cube here, we'd be doing it to the entire cube, like scaling it, right? I can scale it from different angles, but I'm scaling the whole object. But let's say I wanted to start, I'm going to start at the front view. I wanted to start doing things like angling the head so I get like a little bit of a jawline. So if I right click again over that, and instead of staying in object mode, which I'm in, I'm going to go to edge, and I'm going to click on an edge of the object, and I'm going to come out of scale, come out of scale, and I'm going to go into the move tool so that I can actually move that edge up. Okay? So that's sort of a nice thing because all of a sudden I can start articulating this shape a little bit more than just scale, rotate, and move. I can actually start to angle components of this cube. Okay, so I'm in component mode, and that's an edge. So again, all I did was right click on top and I got that edge. Keep in mind, I'm going to undo it so I can redo it again. So again, I right click, went into edge mode and selected an edge and I moved it. Okay, I could have scaled it, right? But that wasn't the look I was going for. Something that I also want you to know is I could have held down the shift key and selected 2 edges because I can select as many edges as I want. I just need to hold down the shift key on my keyboard, right? And with that, I can scale the 2 together like that if I wanted to get a different shape. So that edge mode, right click over the object, that edge mode becomes so important. So right now we scaled in object mode, and now in edge mode. But now I'm going to show you the face mode. Okay, see the face right here? See how each on this cube, there's all of these beautiful faces? And I can select on any of these faces and I can scale. I can use the move tool and move it up or down, right? I can bring it back. I can even rotate it, right? So each object I can do that in. So far we looked at object, we looked at edge, and we looked at face. The last one I'll show you is vertex. That's when I can click on a simple vertex and move it. And again, I want you to understand that I can click on multiple vertices, especially if I hold down the shift key on my keyboard, so I can click on two vertices at the same time. I can deselect one by holding that shift key again and clicking right on top of it. See how I deselected it? Okay. So by saying this, I want you to understand that you can model a cube or another primitive, polygon primitive, using object mode, edge, vertex, or face. Okay, and to get to these, I simply am right clicking on top of the object. And then Maya allows me to use any of these. Okay, so I'm right clicking to do that. I also want to show you, and you know how much I love showing people multiple ways of doing the same thing, that you have some shortcuts when you are using your space bar on your keyboard as well. Okay, so there's a bunch of shortcuts that are here as well. I don't tend, this is a very nice, this is, the shortcuts here are really great. I tend to like to show you where the menus are so you know where things are, but there's nothing wrong with using um, your space bar because all of this is what's up here. Okay. All right, but for what we're doing, the component mode, I right click and I get to my object mode, my edge, my vertex, and my face. Okay, the multi-cut is, which is what I don't recommend you use right away, but you can experiment with that because the multi-cut allows you to do things like work in multiple modes, like like face mode and edge mode. Without having to click back. See how I got to click on the vertex? I'm doing all that in multi-mode. I don't really recommend multi-mode at first. Some people may disagree with that, and that's cool. I recommend you going from object to face to edge to vertex first and getting comfortable with these before you hit multi, just so that you understand what these are, right? Before you hit multi, okay? So that is that is component modes that we can use in Maya. Now I'm gonna do another video so that I can show you how I'm gonna use all those components to sort of reshape my little robot here. Okay, so I hope to see you in that video. Bye now.